with new and returning players coming to the roster, program modifications, and the continued signs of inevitability of somebody's jersey in the background of not returning to the Eagles, continuing to go on. We got more news today. What is going on, everybody? Lindy Endzone back with another video, and I got yous for the Philadelphia Eagles. In this one, I dropped two today, man. I had a lot to go over between my Mavs and now the Philadelphia Eagles because they continue to bring us news over the course of this week, 2 days in a row. We signed Ryan Kerrigan yesterday, and now we have the addition of two more players coming to the roster. It was reported today that the Philadelphia Eagles have traded a 2023 sixth-round pick and cornerback Jamison Houston to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a former fourth-round pick in last year's draft, cornerback Josiah Scott. So we got a guy. We bring in a kid from Michigan State. It's said that he has pretty good tape for that college program. There's upside there. There's potential there, but I'm still trying to figure out the direction here of what's going on in how Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon are approaching this defense, specifically the secondary. Is this a move to solidify a spot at the CB2 position, giving Darius Slay a partner on the outside? No, I don't think so. But what I do think is that there's a good number of young developmental talent that obviously some of these guys have to show something to the new coaching staff in order to maintain a spot on the roster, and again, that's gonna continue to have to be proven over the course of camps and practices and so on and so forth. Josiah is another smaller corner. Is he going to play slot? Is this going to push a guy like Avonte Maddox to the outside again? Which, please, I don't want that to happen. Maddox cannot play the outside. We all know that. So I don't know what to think of this pick. Again, he comes in at 5'9", 185. His measurements are very similar to Avonte Maddox in that regard. But again, it's another young talent with potential here. Now, the way that I look at it is, one thing that the Eagles have struggled with mightily is the fact that they can't, develop talent in-house. And, for how many years now, and yeah, I understand, there's always good use out of free agent pickups and everything, but you can't make that a consistent pattern where there's an over reliance in that regard. And there's got to be a time where you have to bring up some of these kids and some of these players in house to be able to be viable guys at certain spots, especially when it comes to the secondary right now at the cornerback position. Time is going to tell at this point with who we're bringing in. We still need to address the CB2 position. Obviously, looking at this trade, he's not. It doesn't seem like he's going to be the option for CB2. There's just no way. Second year, he's going to be a second year player. He's only played 6 games for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He didn't start any of them, but it is said that it was a deep room at corner, and there was some competition over there, and whatever it may be. But outside of that, it's just another body in here. To add to the developmental tree, I assume, to give guys like Avonte Maddox some direct competition, because we need to do something, man. This is this still doesn't cut it for me at the CB2 position. But in the same breath, like I just alluded to, we got to do something with being able to develop guys in house. And the more we see transactions like this, the more we see moves like this, it's more so leading to that fact. But at the same time, the only real veteran that these guys can lean on in that room is Darius Slay. It's not necessarily a good thing. I would like at least one more veteran in there, that these guys can lean on, that can help bring some of these guys along, with Slay, with Jonathan Gannon, who we're hoping is that guy when it comes to developing guys in the secondary. That's it's one of his good pieces on his resume, and we can just hope that that's going to be a continued trend with him as our new defensive coordinator. So, and moving on, the other signing that we brought in, I think for the third time now, is offensive tackle Casey Tucker. There's really not much to look into in regards to Casey, other than the fact that he's been on and off the team between being a injury waiver when he received a concussion from Sharif Miller during a practice. He ends up being waived, and then he was claimed off of waivers again from the Detroit Lions, I believe, after he was cut by them, and then he was waived again in order for us to pick up Travis Fulgham, stuff like that. And now he's back on the team. So it is what it is. I'm assuming it's another piece to this competition thing Sirianni's got going on. Familiarity with with what Jeff Stoutland wants out of his guys, I guess, and that's got to be the reason that he's back. So outside of that, I'm gonna get into the talk about what we heard with some of these off-season program modifications, and some of the Eagles reporters. In this case, I'll be reading from Zach Berman, who posted a tweet on Twitter today about these modifications. In quote, says Nick Sirianni met with team leaders and they agreed to a modified offseason program. This week will include meetings and on-field sessions focusing on fundamentals, schemes, strength, and conditioning. The 2 weeks after that will include on-field drills, but no 11-on-11 or 7-on-7s. There will be no mandatory minicamp, and the team will reconvene for training camp. The focus is on training, teaching, physical conditioning, per the team website. He also goes on to say that the benefit to this is Coach Nick and the staff will get more in-person time with the team than if the players skipped the voluntary portion of the offseason. Makes some sense, and I can agree with that. The downside, he goes on to say, the downside is that they won't have a full quote-unquote practice until training camp. Of course, nobody did last season. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to exactly read too much into this and be the one to bash the fact that there is going to be no 7-on-7 drills or 11-on-11s or whatever the matter. And I've replied to some tweets, others in the content creator community talking about this and that, and I felt as if this is a scenario where we shouldn't be quick, to react with criticism in this manner, and and again, like we go back to 2016, and for a lot of us, Doug Peterson wasn't a popular signing from the perspective of head coach, and some people feel that with Sirianni as well. But at the same time, I feel that we still needed to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, and it seems that he really wants to put on an emphasis of this being all about the players, and just wanting to really dive into a connection with these guys on a football level, and going over basic things, and not so much in just going by a book, and how we felt with what we seen in Doug Peterson's offense at times, where it was very vanilla, and it was predictable, and it was the same thing, and it was the same things over and over again, and over time it became like we thought over time it became stale, and the predictability and a lot of stuff just started to rear its ugly head, where it's like Sirianni wants to come at this from a perspective from square one, and building from the ground up, and and really connecting the players to his playbook, and looking at it hand in hand, whereas you want to meet a middle ground where it's not just the players adapting to his playbook, but he wants the playbook to adapt to the players, a la work to their strengths, stuff like that. So I'm not one that's going to read deep into this sort of thing. Like I said, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. There's an intrigue here, in my opinion, as how he's going to carry out his offseason program after hearing the news today, and I'm going to leave it at that. So let me know, guys, down in the comments how you feel about these modifications to the offseason program, of what Sirianni wants to do, as far as training, and removing the mandatory camp, until I think the players don't meet until around late July, going into August, and I think with the mandatory camp, it was supposed to be like June 8th to June 10th. So now I don't think that's a thing anymore. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think of these modifications, and how you guys feel about the cornerback position now. Does Josiah Scott give you any more clarity on the situation, and the Casey Tucker signing, and how 86 here in the background, how he's not attending anything, and let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, everybody, and that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate everyone's contributions, everybody's support. This is, again, I'm going to continue to say it's a hell of a ride for me to be able to come onto YouTube and have and have people watch my content, and me talking sports with my two favorite teams, and the Eagles and the Mavericks, and it's a it's an awesome experience, and it can't do it without y'all. So thank you once again. That's going to do it for me. This has been Lindy End Zone. I'm signing out of here. Fly, Eagles, fly. Continue to bleed green, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you next time.